Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. 3 reasons Steelers will go over projected win total in 2024. According to the FanDuel Sportsbook, the Pittsburgh Steelers' projected win total for the upcoming season is set at 8.5. Despite this projection, the Steelers have a strong track record under head coach Mike Tomlin, who has never finished a season below .500 during his tenure in Pittsburgh. Here are 3 reasons why the Steelers will win more than 8 games this season. The front office has significantly bolstered the offensive side of the ball with the additions of Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. They also invested heavily in the draft to strengthen the offensive line and added a new wide receiver, Roman Wilson. Furthermore, the Steelers have revamped their coaching staff, bringing in offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, quarterbacks coach Tom Arth, wide receivers coach Zach Azzanni, and offensive assistant Matteo Cambui. With these additions and an increased focus on the offense, we can expect a substantial improvement compared to the underwhelming performance under Matt Canada's direction. This new-look offense should finally provide the consistency needed to score significantly more points. If the offense lives up to its potential, it's hard not to see the team exceeding projected win totals. The Steelers not only bolstered their offense but also made significant upgrades to an already solid defense. They signed Patrick Queen and Deshaun Elliott, and in a trade package, acquired Dante Jackson to round out the starting cornerback spot opposite Joey Porter Jr. Additionally, the team drafted Peyton Wilson and Ryan Watts, adding much-needed depth at linebacker and the CB/safety positions. If the defense continues to perform at a high level and even progresses toward becoming a top 5 to 10 unit, the Steelers have all the talent needed to be a playoff contender and potentially win the AFC North. Year after year, watching the Steelers feels like riding a roller coaster, with stretches of disappointment and a lack of postseason success. Yet, one thing remains constant: you should never count out the Pittsburgh Steelers, they never quit. Despite moments of seeming defeat, these teams under Mike Tomlin always manage to rally when the going gets tough. Every preseason, critics predict their demise, forecasting last-place finishes in the AFC North and labeling them as a weak team in the AFC. However, time and again, the Steelers prove them wrong. Until they prove otherwise, doubters must acknowledge the Steelers' resilience. With their talent, it would be disastrous if they fell short of at least 9 wins. Steelers A to Z: if Mark Robinson is to be a viable NFL linebacker, he better show it soon. The past, Robinson was a running back at a pair of middling FCS programs before transferring to Ole Miss for his final college season. A fateful switch to defense resulted in a high-volume tackle season in the SEC that ultimately led to a pro career. The 225th overall pick in 2022, the Steelers figured a 7th-rounder was worth a flyer on a late bloomer type who seemed to like contact and was drawn to the ball. After it seemed as if his rookie season would be a virtual redshirt to continue to grow into playing linebacker, particularly at the NFL level, by the end of that season Roberts was a starter for the final 2 games. He played 50% of the defensive snaps during a January 1, 2023, road win at the rival Baltimore Ravens. But whatever momentum Robinson was building to be a significant part of the defense all dissipated throughout last year. Come March, the Steelers signed not 1 but 2 veteran starting-caliber free agents in Elandon Roberts and Cole Holcomb. Would that make Roberts a number 3 ILB? Nope. Not when Quan Alexander signed in August. Okay, what about when first Holcomb and then Alexander were lost for the season via significant respective injuries in November? While Robinson's playing time on defense increased, it still played a back seat to in-season signees such as Michael Walker and Miles Jack. Heck, the Steelers even signed an out of retirement to start ahead of Robinson. 2024 outlook: through it all, at least, Robinson became one of the Steelers' most trusted special teamers. Part of the core 4 special teams most of the season, only 3 Steelers played more specialty snaps in 2023. Robinson did play 170 defensive snaps over the final 9 games, including playoffs, of the season. He made 2 starts and had a sack in the regular season finale victory that got the Steelers into the playoffs. But was it a signal Robinson will have a more permanent role defensively? For the second consecutive offseason, the Steelers added multiple starting caliber players to the inside linebackers core, $41 million free agent Patrick Queen and third-round pick Peyton Wilson. Roberts returns, and Holcomb was the unit's best player in 2023 before being lost to a season-ending knee injury in November. If Holcomb is healthy enough to play, Robinson drops to no better than 5th on the ILB depth chart. That suggests that he had better be a reliable special teamer during camp and the preseason to assure himself a roster spot. If Robinson can't show he deserves a significant role on defense this year, he probably never will. Dream of Steelers trading for WR like Brandon Aiyuk doesn't look good right now, insider says. The dream of the Pittsburgh Steelers landing Brandon Aiyuk or anybody like him is all but dead, Mark Kaboly says. The Athletic reporter relayed that sobering analysis on 93.7 The Fan on Friday, which is not what fans want to hear. It doesn't look good right now. It doesn't feel good, put it that way, he said when asked about the Steelers' chances of adding a legitimate starting wide receiver to complement George Pickens. Who's going to be out there? Who's going to be a difference maker? If you're throwing Brandon Aiyuk out there, and it sure the heck doesn't look like San Francisco wants to get rid of him, then where else do you go? Those Steelers fans who enjoy torturing themselves can find the dots to connect. 2 of Russell Wilson's former wide receivers have drawn trade buzz, legitimate or otherwise. There was Denver Broncos WR Courtland Sutton, which seemed to have the most traction, yet even that has faded. Far less likely was DK Metcalf, the Seattle Seahawks receiver whom Wilson continues to work out with. Yet the news out of San Francisco regarding Brandon Aiyuk has not been good for Steelers fans, at least the ones who want to trade for him. Increasingly, it sounds as though the 49ers are committed to keeping him, even if he flirts with other teams. Even Aiyuk admitted he is most likely staying, despite offering plans B and C, Pittsburgh being C. So if it's not Brandon Aiyuk, Courtland Sutton, or DK Metcalf, who can the Steelers add to their receiver room? Behind George Pickens, they have Roman Wilson, Calvin Austin III, Van Jefferson, Quez Watkins, Marquez Callaway, and Scotty Miller. In theory, it shouldn't be too hard to find an upgrade. The problem, of course, is that players who are upgrades are generally already on rosters. Like Aiyuk, they would have to acquire such players via trade. The biggest available free agents are guys like Hunter Renfrow, Michael Thomas, Julio Jones, and Russell Gage. Are any of them going to be better than what they already have? Unless Omar Khan pulls some of his magic, and he can do it, and he's done it, this might be something that might be too tough for even him to accomplish, Kaboly said. You're gonna have to hope for the Roman Wilsons of the world and the Van Jeffersons to step up. As for adding that legit star number 2, to me right now, it does not seem like it's going to be possible. Anybody who's out there is just not going to be that good, I don't think better than what they have already. The Steelers believe in George Pickens, to be sure, which may be a complicating factor in trading for Brandon Aiyuk. It's really hard to trade for Aiyuk while still committing to Pickens' long-term future. But without making some kind of trade, the wide receiver room lacks proven commodities. Guys like Jefferson, Watkins, and Callaway are journeymen looking to resurrect their careers. Roman Wilson has the best chance of emerging as a player with an actual future. But first, he just needs to earn a role. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Brandon Aiyuk? Leave your opinion in the comments.